party, the second thing was the co-op. So I've been a co-operator all my life. And I would have thought that the people who are on the board, they should be co-operators. And co-operator means you at least cooperate with the people who are elected in the area you are meant to be trading in. We've had discussions over the years with Marks and Spencers, with Virgin Trains, with many, many operators, and the one that's got it in its constitution about cooperating doesn't want to meet with us until all the shops are shut, Mr. Mayor. It's very interesting that when we talked about the possibility of developing Abbey Street, great expense was taken, great expense was paid out by the developers working with the council in relation to diagrams, what could be done in relation to negotiating with other retailers. In fact, it was very recently that the developers came forward with a plan where the co-op was being redeveloped, and they have made clear to the developers that the non-food section of the co-op in Nuneaton was profitable. That was the part they wanted, I don't know about expand, but they wanted to save. They wanted to build a new part of it facing Roadwalk.
That was 3 years ago.
And to probably rejig the store so that the back in Abbey Street was actually then used in conjunction with redevelopment by another retailer. Now, how is it that they can have had those discussions and then suddenly say that it's not profitable? And I did say on the radio this morning, Mr. Mayor, if it's not profitable, why is it the one that's staying up until June? Does that mean they're going to make a loss today, tomorrow, etc., all the way through to June? Because I have very much grave doubts about this. It says they invested £400,000 in Atherstone. Well, it must have been upstairs, because I called in the Atherstone Co-op on the way back from work regularly. But they've closed all the others first, Mr. Mayor. Hinkley's gone, Coventry's gone, all of these others have gone, and they've left Nuneaton till last. But what about the people who work at the co-op? Well, I believe if you work at the co-op, you have to be a shareholder. So they're actually owners of the business, along with many, many people of Nuneaton and Bedworth. We feel entirely let down by the co-op, Mr. Mayor, in particular because of what it was meant to be set up to do. It is not one that comes in to make a fast buck and goes. It was set up by local people to be able to get decent facilities, decent goods, etc. And many, many people in this borough are staggered at how they could close the white goods area, and they could close the quality furniture and the carpets and so on, which are very, very popular. But when they refuse to meet, it leaves doubts in your mind as to what are these figures. And how is it that I understand less than a dozen or less than 20 people can make this decision? I can find 20 people in this room who are part owners of the co-op. Because I have been for 40 odd years. Not interested whatsoever, Mr. Mayor. To the credit of other stores, they have discussed with this council. The one store owners we expect to discuss have just said, well, on your bike, we're not interested until we've shut it all. It's up for sale now, it's more than £6 million for the lot. We then say, we're going to concentrate on food. Well, I've got news for you, Mr. Mayor, you probably know. They're closing the food bit anyway down here. They're concentrating on the out-of-stores co-ops, where the prices are nearly double what they are in the middle of town, and where you haven't got a lot of choice. We are disgusted, Mr. Mayor, disgusted.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can I say, first of all, I actually welcome the support that's going to come now from the opposition to this motion. I welcome that. I voted against what you put forward, but I sincerely welcome that. It's important. Let down by the co-op. That's exactly the thing. That's what the public out there feel. People stop you in the streets and speak to you about certain things, and that's what happens all the time. That's why you're a councillor 24/7. And this is one thing that the public stop me about, and I'm sure other people about, and talk about this. 1930, and I'm not talking about 7:30, the time I want to get home. I'm talking about my mother's divvy number, or store number. I still remember that, 1930 from when I was, goodness, 60 years ago. And I remember queuing up to get a little bit. I was getting a bit of the divvy that she got. So I used to queue up outside the Leaf Provident in Edinburgh when she was picking up her divvy money, and it was a certain amount for me. So my arguments, as well as being, well, they're not political, my arguments are actually emotional. People talk to me, and okay, it's not within this borough, but they actually talk about the Coventry store closing as well. And the one interesting thing that's happened there used to be a fantastic sleigh riding there at Christmas. Where is it now? It's in Coventry Transport Museum. How wonderful, but it should actually be still in their store. And actually, when I took my grandson down there to go on it, there was other people parking there, specifically asking me where the Transport Museum was, so they could go on to that. The toy department here, as I know from the little grandson, is second to none. It's absolutely fantastic. And if that, well, I just can't. I walk about in my house. I'm not allowed to wear shoes in my house for about the last 2 years. Before that, well, I didn't. Always get told off, but the last 2 years, no way. My legs would have been chopped off because a new carpet from the co-op. And I tell you what, it's brilliant. Furniture as well, yeah. So mine is an emotional thing as well. Now, whether that's valid here or whatever, but there's a lot of people have that emotional tie with the council within this borough. And I'll finish again by saying I do welcome the support that you're going to give, and let's go for it. And I commend Sam for the work that he's done on this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have to agree with much of what the leader said. The co-op should be cooperating, and I would call on them in the spirit of working together to please finally agree to meet. I mean, we wanted a meeting that included others, but we would rather have a meeting than no meeting at all. And, you know, Labour members and the leader have said that he's taken it entirely on his shoulders. That's fine. We want a meeting. We want the co-op to stay. We all have good memories of the co-op from when we were small, and for our own children. And the toys department and other bits there are great. And I've used it no end. And we want the co-op to stay. We all want that. All I'm saying, and all we were saying, is having ignored our pleas as a council to date, possibly, if what you've tried before has failed, then saying that there would be a bipartisan, multi-party approach might have actually attracted the co-op to.
We've done dealing with Councillor Jones.
Yeah, but I accept,
Speak to the proposition.
yeah, like I say, we'd rather have a meeting than no meeting at all, and so we will definitely support that. There's just two other things that I wanted to touch on. Like I said, I appreciate very much Councillor Margrove's comments. He's clearly impassioned about this, but he's understood me for every single meeting I've been here, and perhaps I should speak more slowly. He was talking about things that are rightly the purview of the officers, the members, the shareholders of an organisation, and we don't have the powers to do the things he wanted. And as far as Councillor Hancock was referring to, Councillor Hancock, I just don't understand it. You're talking about an MP being able, and criticising him for not having the powers to give this council the power that the House of Parliament has got, the power of a court to compel witnesses to attend. How can one MP, whoever he is, give that power, and how can he be criticised for it? Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, point of information in relation to what I said is that the MP had the right to call that person in front of a parliamentary select committee. But they've chosen not to, but we don't get that choice anyway. Thank you, Mr.
But those further speakers, Councillor Margrave.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll keep this very brief. First of all, just to pick up on Councillor Troman's point, I actually mentioned council officers in my first paragraph, so maybe you misunderstood me. But in any case, I want to thank all the members who have spoken about their own experience of the co-op and are committed to trying to save the co-op. I also want to thank the members of the society who have been fighting to save the co-op and to say that we've all got a part to play. And the co-op now, through selling some of its stores, has a lot of money in the bank, and it's about how we constructively use that money to do what the co-op was set up to do, to deliver quality services and goods to this community. And I hope that we can find a positive, innovative and smart way forward to save the future of the co-op and keep them on the high street. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You move to vote. All those in favour, please show. Should be unanimous. That's unanimous, thank you.